Good morning, happy Sunday. It is 8:10. We've been awake a little while, probably since about 7, but I did get up about 3 o'clock in the morning. Peggy had started whining, but I don't think that was what woke me up. I had some tummy ache and passing wind and burping through the night. Nothing extreme, but enough to keep me awake. So I did take some. I went downstairs to let the dogs out, made a peppermint tea, and took some of these wind relief, which it says relief from pressure, bloating, and discomfort, which is kind of what I was feeling, although it makes it sound worse than it was. Nothing worse than what I keep forgetting to say. I did suffer with indigestion and bowel problems, shall we say, when I was obese and very overweight. So nothing worse than that. And it's still mild, but it was just enough to keep me awake. Good morning, Peggy. Can you hear Daddy in the front garden? Andrew's out in the garden, the front one, cutting the hedge. Right. I forgot to say yesterday, because I know I did mention at some point that I was going to explain my plans for tomorrow, which is now today. I am going over to my mum's today to meet my sister. We are going to sort out her personal affairs. So maybe I'll not explain her personal affairs, but my opinions on how people should think about sorting their personal affairs later on. But I'm going to go and get some breakfast now. Right, it's 8:30 now and I've made my breakfast. There she goes. Let's go and fetch her. Excuse me. In. 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 Right, excuse that interruption. I have my breakfast. I've got a K-Vag cafe latte and mixed with that about 40 grams of the Fahey Total 0% yogurt, 20 grams of Aldi chocolate protein granola, raspberries, blueberries and strawberries, and 15 grams of this Co-op fruit and nut mix. Oh, and my honey, 10 grams of honey. And then with that is my coffee, so that together is 360 calories. So it is about 9:30, about 17 or 18 degrees, just warm enough without a jacket. And I brought Andrew and the dogs onto our normal stretch of river. It does require a car journey, but it's only short and we like coming on here. Yeah, as I said, I'm going to my mum's, and because we're going to be doing like computer work and not indulging ourselves with going out for a walk, I'm leaving the dogs at home. Oh, look at that sun. So we're bringing them out for a walk now, and then Andrew will take them probably on the countryside walk in the village that we normally do. We're on cow watch. As soon as we see any hint of them, we'll get the dogs back on. Yes. Usual walk on the stretch of the river by Snake. Pardon?
Look at the corpuscular rays.
The what?
The corpuscular rays. And they come down like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called corpuscular.
Corpuscular. There you go.
That shows you that if you triangulate them back up, that's where the sun is. You see?
Yeah, I don't think that's quite coming out on video.
Yeah.
Cows mooing there on the other side. Well, there you go. You've learnt your fact for today.
Yeah. That's all you're getting today.
Right, it's 12:30. I am here at Mum's. I am being treated to a cooked meal. Chicken, couscous and salad, I believe, but I've arrived safely. I don't think my sister or my mum will want to be on camera, but I'll ask my sister how she's getting on and check up on her, and we'll have some lunch, sort out some things on the laptop, and then maybe go for a walk or go and see my dad. We haven't decided yet, but I'm here and we're going to get some stuff sorted today. Right. Dinner is served and I haven't had to cook a thing. It's 1 o'clock. I've got some chicken breast here, some Aldi couscous, it's the roasted vegetable one, some reduced fat coleslaw and a lovely salad, beetroot, green leaves, peppers, tomatoes and cucumber. And then I've got, my sister's bought this lemon and herb peri peri, which is like the Aldi's version of the Nando's sauce, and a cloudy lemonade, no added sugar, and that's about 430 calories. So it's 3:15. I think we've just about finished with the personal affairs, and my mum wants to treat us to something to eat, some pudding. I didn't actually finish that plate. There was some couscous and salad left, but I've left the calories as they are. And I'm having half an Aldi protein yogurt, the strawberry one, some strawberries and blueberries and some honey, and that is about 150 calories. It's about 4 o'clock or just after, maybe towards 1:30. And we are walking in Hillsborough Park, which I think I've shown people before. There's a walled garden over there and some flowers. Watch your shoes. What?
We can't get in here.
Oh, you want to go in the walled garden? Yeah, right. Just a minute and we'll be back. Right, so my mum wanted me to show you the walled garden. It's a while since I've been here because I don't think it's usually open when we've been before. So they must have opened it for a Sunday. You will notice I am dog free. Like I said, I've left the dogs at home with Andrew. I'm not sure whether dogs are allowed in here, but I don't think it's been open when we've been before. Oh, it's lovely. It was here. It's been here years. So it was here when I was a kid. Or maybe not a kid, maybe more a teenager. It's lovely. There's lots of memorial benches. An unusual plant there. They should tell you what plants they are, shouldn't they? There you go, there's a little tour, a bonus tour that I weren't expecting of the of Hillsborough Park Walled Garden. Oh yeah, a cafe. Is that where the library used to be, or is that an extra building?
It's next to it, yeah.
Next to the library, yeah. Right, I'll show you the pond and things when we get down there. Oh, lovely roses. Yeah, so I'm just getting a few more steps in before I make my way home with my mum. And here we are at the pond, and there's a nice island in the middle. Are they like weeping willows? Yeah. So two big weeping willow trees, and then a bigger tree at the background, and then, oops, lots of ducks and geese and Canada geese over in the other corner. And then there's loads of sporks and skating ramps and things like that down at the bottom. I think there's a crazy... Oh, that's what you meant, the crazy golf. Oh yeah, we'll have a look at that in a minute. That's all been built in very recently, I think. Yeah, it feels strange walking without any dogs, but it makes a nice change. There you go. Always some water somewhere that we've got to find. So this is the crazy golf. I'm not going to go too close because obviously there are people playing, but you can see all the holes, or whatever you call them, are something to do with Sheffield structures, so like the cooling towers and a castle. But yeah, it's quite fun. We'll have to do it one day, Mum. Crazy golf. But yeah, this is quite new, is this? Yeah, and a new cafe and a new sports centre. So anyone in the Sheffield area can come and have some fun. And they're still doing work around here. And there's a park run as well. So yeah, you can get a good hour's walk, at least, on the different paths, and have something to look at all the way around Hillsborough Park. And there's a big expanse of grass just here. And this is where they go around for the park run. Yeah, I always like it here because it reminds me of being a kid. Right, this is my mum's garden. I've shown this before, but she's actually had it done recently. So this is from the back of the house, down the steps, and then this is the bit that she's had done. There was big conifer trees all in a row here, so the gardener, who is a family friend, has pulled out all the conifers and replaced it with, not decking, like a patio, and then all wooden fencing and a flower bed. And then this bit has been done especially for Charlie and Peggy, this fence here. Because if you see over there, hang on, see how low the wall is? So they would prop their little feet on that wall as if they were going to jump into the next garden. So they'll be able to play, next time I bring them, they'll be able to play more safely, like grandkids. But yeah, she's She likes a bit of gardening, and this is a bit better for her to manage. Good evening, I am home safe and sound, and it is 7 p.m. I left Mum's after we'd done the walk in the park. Must have been about 5:30 or so, and driven home, changed into my comfies and made some tea. So I've got a Morrison's melt in the middle fish cake. It's these ones, 2 salmon, smoked cod and haddock fish cakes with West Country cheddar melt in middle. They are really delicious, and they're 18 grams of protein. And then I've just got some rainbow salad and balsamic vinegar and 80 grams of McCain home cut chips or whatever they're called, and Crucial's tomato sauce, and a orange juice, sugar free, that is 450 calories. So it is 7:20, and I thought I'd just do a quick 5-minute discussion about the importance of sorting your personal affairs. I used to work in, I still work in the legal industry, but I used to work in what we call the probate services. Now that doesn't just mean after death, it means before death as well, when people are incapacitated, or before they're incapacitated and want to make arrangements for their finances if they become incapacitated, and also after they die they want to arrange their affairs. So it's a really important subject, and as a person with a parent with dementia already, my dad, I believe it's something everybody should think about. So I'm going to explain the difference. A lasting power of attorney, there are 2 types. You can have one regarding your financial affairs and another one regarding your health and welfare. And on the website Office of the Public Guardian, which is a government department, you can make these powers of attorney absolutely free, and it would only cost you a fee if you want to register them. There's a difference. But a lasting power of attorney is for while you are still alive, but if you should become incapacitated but for any reason and unable to manage your own affairs, be they financial or health and welfare, for example if you're in hospital and you don't have capacity for whatever reason. Now the reason it is so important in my eyes to make these powers of attorney is if something happens, which none of us like to think about, if something happens to you, you become incapacitated through an accident, illness or old age or whatever else you can think of, your loved ones, your relatives, your loved ones, your friends, whoever's around you, will have to go through a much longer process to help you manage your financial affairs called a deputyship, which is a much more expensive and lengthy process. And believe me, if you can avoid it at all, you would want to avoid it. I was fortunate enough to be able to help my dad make a power of attorney to appoint me and my sister as his attorneys for his financial affairs before he lost capacity, and it has been invaluable to me in supporting him to sort out his financial affairs, moving him into a care home and continuing to sort his bank account, his payments for the care home, get support from social services. Unfortunately we didn't manage to get the health and welfare one done, but as his next of kin I still have quite a bit of, not quite a bit of say, but they do still seek my opinion. So if you do have financial difficulties, I would say get the financial one done first, prioritise that one. You can appoint up you can appoint any number of attorneys, and you can have replacement attorneys as well. They can be your spouse, your children, close friends and other family, and you can appoint them to act jointly or jointly and severally. So for example, my dad appointed me and my sister jointly and severally, so that we can act together to make decisions, but we can also act separately. So primarily for my dad, it's me that's done all the paperwork and sorted him out. And it's the same. And then you also need a certificate provider. So it doesn't need to be a professional, a doctor or anything, although you can do. It just needs to be a friend or someone who's known you for more than 2 years and is not going to be an attorney, who will testify that you are not incapacitated, you understand what you're filling in, you're not under any pressure to make the lasting power of attorney, and you'll also need witnesses to the signatures. And there's also a page where you can give notice to anybody else that you wish to, that you have made this power of attorney and that these people are being appointed as your attorneys. And I just want to stress that doing a lasting power of attorney and then registering it and then using it is a whole lot easier than doing a deputyship. And as I say, you can just fill it all in on the website, get it printed out and signed, and it's there. The next step then is you become incapacitated, or you decide that you want to register it so that the people you've appointed can start to help you with your affairs, and that's when the fee comes in. You then have to pay £85 at the moment, as of August 2025. It's £85 to register this power of attorney, and then your attorneys can start to use it. It will then need registering with all the financial institutions and the places like your gas and electric accounts, utilities, once it's registered with the Office of the Public Guardian, you'll then need to get certified copies, or your attorneys will, and start registering it with the financial institutions, and the attorneys will then start to be able to help you organise your financial affairs. I don't know as much about the health and welfare, only that it's a kind of it's for the most extreme decisions, like about turning life support off, and it may help more with decisions like going into a care home and things. Because I didn't manage to get it done in time for my dad, I had to have quite a bit of involvement from social services. Now that may still be the case, the other one's come now, that may still be the case, that you may still have to have social services involvement, but a health and welfare LPA might just help smooth all that process. And finally, I would strongly advise people to make a will. Now that is for when you die. Nobody wants to think about these things, but it's far more complicated if you don't have a will to then sort out your estate. Now some people might be thinking, well, I don't have anything. I've got £100 in the bank, or whatever, you know what I mean. But I still think it's good to have something in writing about what your wishes are for when you die, and who you would like to inherit your estate or your money or your possessions or your house or whatever. And there's lots of resources online. You can just do something simple. And my mum was saying that there's charities that offer will writing services, so just give it a Google. And that site again for powers of attorney is Office of the Public Guardian. And if anyone would like to ask me anything, drop it down below in the comments, and I will answer as best I can. And I'm sorry if it's upset anyone, or you don't want to think about these kind of things, but I can't stress to you enough how much having the power of attorney for my dad has helped me to help him. It's just smoothed the whole process, whereas it would have taken, and it was during COVID times as well, so I think it would have taken up to 2 years for me to get a deputyship over his affairs. And in that 2 years, you would not officially be allowed to access any of his accounts or make any payments for him, so then debts can accrue and things like that. So yeah, and that is what we have been trying to sort out with my mum today. She wants to update her power of attorney that she made 10 years ago to include me. Now I'm a bit older and now I've been through it with my dad. And she also wants to update her will. I told her she needs to update it anyway. This is a funny story. I told her she needs to update it anyway. Bearing in mind, I got married in September 2006. She made her will in 2010, and I am still on as Deborah maiden name, and I'm Deborah married name. So I told her off for that, not really, but I said, you've still got me as Deborah full middle name, maiden name, and I'm Deborah middle name, married name, 4 years after I got married. Anyway, I'll stop yabbering now, but again, any questions, please drop them below. And I can talk about this again another time if anybody is interested. But please just have a little think about it, have a little look on the website. You can do the first steps absolutely free, and there may be lots of resources for will making as well that are free or through charities and things like that. So consider it. Right, it is 8:30. Angie's gone to bed. I've watched the end of Casualty, which I started watching this morning, and I'm going to watch some YouTube now. But for my supper, I've got a rooibos tea. I think I forgot to tell you, I had a cup of tea when I arrived at my mum's as well, and I've had my bottles of water also, and the cloudy lemonade that Sarah brought, my sister. And then I've got a slice of my apricot loaf. As I said, I'm going to take like 2 slices at a time and eat them over a couple of days. And a nectarine, that's about 100 grams. And then on the apricot loaf, because it is more like a bready loaf texture, and it's more like a saurine or malt loaf, I'm just going to try a bit of this Clover Light buttermilk. It's less than 5 grams because I've weighed it and I've not used the whole 5 grams, but I've counted for 5 grams anyway. And just with just the apricot loaf with a bit of spread on it. And altogether it's about 240 calories. Right, good evening. It is 9:30. I did enjoy that apricot cake with the spread, and one slice. I was thinking it was either going to trigger me to eat more, or I would just eat 2 slices for, 300 calories or whatever. But one slice is enough. It was very nice with the spread, yeah. Maybe I think if you eat cake a day after you've baked it, it's a little bit better texture, everything's settled. Or a loaf cake, yeah, but it's definitely a heavier sort of loaf-like texture. So it's not like a light and fluffy cake, but it's really nice. Anyway, I've had a good day, good food day. I've enjoyed spending some time with my mum and sister. Unfortunately, we didn't really get a chance to catch up on how Sarah's doing with my sister, with her tablet that she's taking. She's on a trial for a weight loss tablet. but she's only got 3 more weeks and then she's got to stop. The trial ends and she's going on a cruise. So she's a little bit nervous that she's going to stop the medication a week before she goes on like a 2 or 3 week cruise. And then after she comes back from the cruise, she's got to have a final review appointment. So she's hoping that she doesn't put like a lot of weight on while she goes on the cruise, but she's looking really good on it. She, like I say, she's lost somewhere between 2.5 and 3 stone. And she feels really well, and she's doing some good she's doing pole dancing and like ballroom dancing, so as her exercise. And she's got quite an more active job than me as well. So anyway, I'll keep trying to update you when I remember. I think that's all the news from me. I better keep it short because I wobbled on earlier about powers of attorney. I end the day on 1,704 calories, 10,000 steps, and 109 grams of protein. And I think I told you my average calories before. But my average calories for this week just gone, my week is Sunday to Saturday, so my week ended yesterday. My average calories is 1,454. So that's pretty good and that's pretty consistent. But it's actually lower. It's actually going back to the lower end of my calories. So obviously the suppression is still there, even on 2.5. And it's a good amount of calories. And if you look at it on the weekly view, it's not as scary as it might sound sometimes when I'm summing up at the end of the day. So yes, thank you so much for watching. Like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.